This is going to be the Sagittarius reading. I know that these energies have been really tough lately. I've been hearing a lot of people, kind of complain about them just because there's so much clearing being done right now, especially in the way of karma and karmic patterns, different ancestral patterns that we could be stuck in. And this has kind of been an ongoing theme for a couple of weeks with the signs. And so really work with the energies as far as whatever's coming up, because a lot of times we try to avoid our feelings. And our feelings are our inner compass. They're our inner guidance. They're what guides you. So you want to always feel. In fact, you want to feel rather than think, because your mind is where your ego is, kind of like your ego's playground. Have you ever heard, that the mind's the devil's playground? Well, the ego is the devil. So with that being said, be very careful about whatever scenarios you're trying to create right now as far as, with your thoughts. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the reading. The first card that I have is the Six of Pentacles. And I got two messages from this card. The first one that I got was abundance. And this is the abundance of the universe. The universe is an abundant place. And every soul makes up the universe in this big patchwork quilt. So we are all one consciousness. We're all connected. We're just all at our own level of consciousness. So if you can imagine, when I was first taught this, it took me a long time. And for some reason, this concept here took longer for me to grasp than anything else. And sometimes I still struggle with it, because I'm like, how can I be connected to lower beings? Because and I'm not putting people down, but lately it's been a theme for me, and I've been talking about it in a lot in my videos, that the more you raise your vibrations and your consciousness, the more we seem to attract lower vibrational beings. And they almost seem soulless because they're so lower vibrational. I know I had a heating and cooling guy who came in to fix my AC unit a few weeks ago, that I was like, man, I don't even think he has a soul. And so he was just naturally very repelling. And I found myself being very rude to him. And I couldn't help it, because it's like he brought that out in me. And it was a very, very real lesson for me, because I realized the more I was rude to him, the more I was feeding him. And so if you can, and understand, this is where I'm at in my journey too, because I'm trying to figure out how to do this. If you can learn to have boundaries and yet not feed lower vibrational entities, not feed into them, then you can actually look at it a different way, from a higher vibrational view. And when you do that, when you come at them from a higher vibration, it confuses them. They can't even exist in that type of energy. Initially they might lash out more, but that's when you can just cut them off, because you've done what you're supposed to do. Because basically what I'm learning is, people who watch my videos, sorry, they're making a lot of noise outside. My dogs are making a lot of noise. I live on the noisiest street in all of Anderson, Indiana. I swear to God, I literally have to sleep when it's quiet. So I apologize. I know my videos are always noisy, but I live in a very noisy house and a very noisy street. So once again, I apologize. But I realized that people who watch my videos, I feel like are on some type of spiritual journey, whether it be a twin flame journey, or you're awakening and broadening your consciousness. And maybe you've been doing this for some time, and you found my videos, and I feel like for a lot of you, you might have even had some aha moments where, maybe something that I've said, especially if you've been watching my videos for a while, maybe resonated, because I've been getting this message a lot lately from Spirit. And so basically with these lower vibrational beings, you have to have very good boundaries with them. And so that is the energy that I'm getting here with this card. That, and also soul family has been a big concept that's been coming up. And soul family, you will recognize with their vibration, because they will be in very close resonance with you. Sorry, they're picking up the trash now. I swear I can't make this stuff up. It's like so noisy here. I have trouble meditating sometimes. Soul family will be different. They'll feel more like home. So when you meet them, they won't be your same vibration, because only your twin flames is your same vibration. You're the same soul, but they'll be very close in resonance, and that's how you'll recognize them. A lot of times they come in because they have a certain part to play. And so just go with it, and don't judge whatever's coming up right now, because that is key. I have learned that the key to everything is to not judge what's happening. And I'm going to, hopefully I can tie all that all together. To clarify that, the Six of Pentacles, we have the Harmony card, music. So I do feel like this is that whole one consciousness thing that I said that I struggle with, because I remember my point I was trying to make now. How can I be connected to these lower vibrational beings? How? But the thing is that yes, we are all one consciousness, but everyone is at their own level. And so we might not align to them right now, but if you can imagine, okay, take somebody who's lower vibrational, they're in lower energies, and you're like, man, I hate for someone to try to put me back in old energy. That drives me crazy. It absolutely drives me nuts. Don't try to put me back in a scenario that I'm no longer in. Or bring up the past, that type of thing. Because then you're, off balance. I practice being present. I don't worry about the future. I've let the past go. So, for someone to come to me with something that's happened in the past and try to put me in lower energies is naturally very repelling. But imagine if you can look at somebody and be like, okay, and this is how you transmute lower vibrations into higher ones. Look at them like, you know what? And you don't even have to say anything. I remember when I used to be like that. I remember that. Because that very well could have been you before, And so if you look at it like that, you can kind of be more forgiving. But do have good boundaries with people. I know I had a soulmate over the weekend remove a lower vibrational negative entity from me. It wasn't very big because I really hadn't been feeding it. That's the key. Don't feed it. But I do believe it's because I have been transmuting so much. I've been, seeing these lower vibrational entities, and I've been trying to look at it from a place of, love and non-judgment. And so I feel like maybe some of that got stuck with me. I don't know. It was really weird. All right, we have the Nine of Swords. In the Nine of Swords, this is all about anxiety, staying up late at night, worrying, stressing, losing sleep. And this comes from not being grounded, not being present enough, because the key to not being anxious, okay, is to being present in the here and now. I'm not talking about 5 minutes from now. I'm not talking about 5 minutes before. The next time you have a situation or a scenario or a set of circumstances come up, and then, let's say like a conflict with somebody, and that comes up, as soon as it's over with, clear it out. Be like, you know what, this shit's over with. Don't even focus on it anymore, because it will continue to grow. I think that's how I got stuck with that thing that my soulmate removed from me over the weekend. What was I saying? Okay, so as soon as a situation's over with, move on from it. And really practice just being present. Use all of your senses. Feel what you're sitting on. Smell, feel, taste, hear. And do that, and don't even worry about what you're going to be getting up to do here in a few minutes. This is how you begin a meditative practice. It's not all mantras and humming and stuff like that. I mean, it can be, but you don't have to do all that. You practice being present and practice being. You know, you don't always have to be doing things. So just be still for a while. And this is a magical energy. And if you can, you know, do this and develop this meditative practice, even when you're not meditating, you'll still just be so calm and cool and collect that really, you know, things can't knock you off your square anymore. And that includes these lower vibrational beings, which we are one consciousness with, but we're out of alignment with right now. How does that sound? To clarify, that Nine of Swords is this tree card. And I do feel like this tree has to do with centering and grounding, like I said. Do take time, spend time outdoors. You don't know the importance and the value of taking your shoes off and walking barefoot in the grass and connecting to Gaia, to Mother Nature, just to connect to that energy. And that is a real grounding energy. The other thing is, every time you have a situation with somebody, not only do you let it go and clear it, you know, and really kind of look for whatever patterns or cycles you've been stuck in. You know, maybe you've been stuck in a loop and the same thing's been playing over and over again. Take some sage and sage your home. Take salt baths and clear your energy so that you'll be ready to move into new energy. And like I said, these energies right now, galactically, are very, very strong. I'm not, you know, like really all up to date as far as, I know there's always a retrograde, there's always a new moon, there's always stuff going on, but I know that lately it's been a lot. And really work with those energies, because they're here to serve you. Because if you can look at the path of the journey that you're on, as instead of being like a straight line like this, but a bunch of cycles. Just imagine it's almost like doing cartwheels. So instead of walking, you're doing cartwheels, and each cartwheel is a cycle. And so if you can work with those cycles and really clear out different patterns, and you know, the theme lately, like I said, has been like karmic patterns and cycles and different things that we are stuck in, that we've been conditioned to believe. And some of that, I'm sorry, I just had a message come through. And some of that is not only involving gender roles. Look at different limiting beliefs that, and I say limiting because whenever we judge or label something or try to put it in a box or try to figure it out, or, you know, imagine, you know, having, you know, a whole bunch of something, and, you know, you divide it all out, put them, you know, categorize and put them in boxes. That's what we do as human beings. So, and those are very limiting beliefs, because we're all one consciousness, remember? So really look at how you view gender roles, how you feel like women should be, or how you feel like men should be. Or, you know, I was raised to believe that all men cheated, all men lied, they would leave. And so my mom raised me to be very independent. She said, don't ever, ever, ever depend on a man. And I didn't. But the other message that's coming up is not only gender roles, but how you view other sex and races and ethnicities and other groups of people. These are passed down, and this is conditioning. And so really work on stripping those away, because everyone is more than their body. No one is their body. If you can remember that. If you don't resonate with anything else in this reading, resonate with the fact that you are not your body. Nobody is. Nine of Pentacles. We are getting towards the end of a cycle. And remember I said those cartwheels. Okay, so I really feel very strongly that you are just a few cycles away from having your heart's desire. Your true heart's desire. Not what your ego mind thinks that you have to have. A lot of times we think we have to have something because we really do seek approval and validation. You know, I thought this was something that I cleared. I told myself I did not give a damn what people thought about me. But I catch myself sometimes really, you know, sometimes I'll catch myself thinking, oh, I wonder what people think about this or that. You know, so I have to really stop that. And it's that whole see me energy. we get into the see me energy of, look at me, look at what I've done, look at what I've accomplished, look at me. So what I'm talking about is more of a soul's desire than an ego desire. I had some information that I channeled yesterday where I have this person who acts like a friend but really is more of a hater, and you can tell because, and I had 3 of them. I blocked the other 2 for some reason. I have not blocked this one yet. There's something, and I feel like there's some type of karma or some type of lesson in it for me, and I'm really watching for it. But she's more of a hater because it's like she's an admirer. She admires, and then every now and then she'll say something that just is real salty. You know what I mean? And so I recognize it. Plus, I'm very intuitive and I read energies, and sometimes I read minds too. I pick up on feelings also. So, I know what it is, but I will cut her off where she gets a hint, like, just leave me alone. And so she'll leave me alone for a while. Hopefully she's not watching this. She's not a Sagittarius, though. And then I kind of reel her back in where I'll say something to her. And I'll tell myself that, you know what, I'm doing that because I want to teach her something that I've learned. But I know that, because she and I are not in alignment.